plays the leading role in a wide assortment of tasty dishes enjoyed in homes and restaurants throughout the year. A tribute to his versatility and flavor, which has made him the favorite of millions of Americans. The Mr. Blue Lake variety of green bean is grown only in Oregon and Washington. This famous green bean is a pole bean that thrives only in the Pacific Northwest, where it was first discovered and where it was developed especially for canning. Blue Lakes are grown in abundance here, for nature has provided the ideal growing condition for green beans. Warm days, cool nights, and an abundance of water through rainfall and irrigation. Here we see clouds bringing warm rainfall inland to sprinkle the bean fields. Towering snow-covered peaks, cool mountain lakes and streams, and dependable rainfall produce the bountiful water of the Pacific Northwest. And with this water comes placid coolness during spring and summer. The rich soil is kept that way as each spring a lush cover crop is plowed under, returning to the land its natural organic wealth. But to compare the present generation of this newest member of the green bean family is like comparing a 1920 automobile of that year with today's streamlined beauties. Here the Mr. Blue Lakes now being planted are true aristocrats, selectively bred by seed companies. Under the direction of Oregon State University, a continuous program of research development is carried on. This search for improvement never ceases. Here in one of the test gardens, a horticulturalist points out some of their characteristics. The smooth, straight, stringless exterior. Blue Lake acquired these unique traits and became more tender, firmer, and more flavorful than all other green bean varieties through this continuous horticultural attention and development. Meanwhile, in the Food Technology Laboratory at Oregon State University, refinements in the canning process are sought. Tasting is one favorite test of quality. And so far, nothing yet developed approaches these Oregon-Washington Blue Lakes for flavor or steam table stability. Here we see staff and graduate students in food technology taste samples of green beans. Time, early spring. A highly effective nutrient is added to the soil. Planting begins and is staggered over a 3-week period, so all the beans won't have to be harvested at the same time. A spray is then applied to keep the soil weed-free. Time, just a little later. The sprouts are beginning to show. The appearance of the young plants is the cue for specially designed cultivators to keep the soil loose and promote growth. While still in this stage, supports for the growing plants must be provided. Large, heavy posts are driven at the ends of each row. Between them, smaller ones are set out at precise intervals. The rows are 5 feet apart and 5.5 high to allow sufficient room for the mature plants. Hard on their heels, an ingenious machine stringer attaches guide wires and strings, covering the fields with a lattice-like web. All during the growing season, the farmers work continuously to assist nature in bringing the crop to perfection. Soon, the fields are a green sea of growing vines, and gentle spring breezes stir the blooms. The plants reach their full height and strength, and the young aristocrats come to life, nourished by the warm sun, cool nights, and plentiful water. Irrigation, lots of it, provides additional moisture as needed to assure precise control over the growing process. Essential plant foods are added to the water in exactly prescribed amounts for a rich and bountiful harvest. With all the skill and knowledge he can muster, man encourages nature's promise. Time, late in July. Our aristocrat, Mr. Blue Lake, is now ready for harvesting. From the surrounding towns and countryside, older children and students, teachers and professors join in gathering in the crop. They are paid by the pound, and the amount picked by each individual is weighed and recorded on tally cards. As soon as the tote boxes are filled, they are loaded onto trucks so that these Blue Lakes will reach the processing plant at the peak of their tenderness and flavor. Upon arrival, the time is noted on the tote box so that each delivery is processed according to schedule without delay. While still cool and fresh from the fields, they are emptied into hoppers. And away they go on a non-stop trip through the cannery. In fact, these Mr. Blue Lakes will be canned and ready for eating in a matter of minutes, which means they will reach your table fresher than any green beans you will find in the market. After washing, they are distributed into a bank of giant whirling graters, which separate them into the 6 sizes used in canning. Now they are running through the snipping machines, which remove both ends from the bean faster than the eye can follow them. Trimmed and graded for size, they are cut to uniform length for the cut pack style. These graders remove those that are less than standard length, and then they pass through one of the several quality inspections to make sure no unwanted beans slip by. Without pausing, the cut style goes through a hot water rinse and blanch. And while this is going on, we'll have a look at 2 other very popular style packs. The whole pack consists of the whole green bean packed in a jumble fashion. The deluxe vertical pack. In this one, the whole beans are lined up side by side. This popular style of pack requires a good deal of handwork. There's another pack, French style, in which the beans are sliced lengthwise, Julienne style. Continuing with the cut style pack, as we watch them go through the remaining process to completion, filling, tamping, sealing, coating, cooking, it's a fact that these Oregon Washington aristocrats from seed to can are pampered with care and attention. For example, even after they are cooked and ready to eat, in the laboratory maintained at each cannery, continual checks are made for uniform packing and grading standards. And frequent samplings are taken from the different style packs as a final control on quality before they're allowed to leave the plant. It's little wonder, then, that the combination of heredity, climate, research, and pampered attention from planting through canning produces the favorite green bean that is used in recipes prepared and enjoyed by millions of Americans. Mr. Blue Lake is the aristocrat of the green bean family. That's why he appears at so many tables so often, served in so many different ways. For instance, Prospector's Blue Lake Skillet. This is a hearty meal for 6 with a true Western flavor that calls for a 1-pound can of whole kernel corn, a 1-pound can of whole pack Blue Lakes, and beef nuggets. Stir the drained green beans and corn together in drippings reserved from the nuggets. The nuggets are made from a pound of ground chuck, 1/4 cup breadcrumbs, 1 tablespoon minced onion, 1 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1 egg, and 1/4 teaspoon each of seasoned pepper and marjoram, browned in 2 tablespoons of butter or margarine, reserving 2 tablespoons of the drippings to combine with the corn and beans. The nuggets, of course, were cooked in the same skillet. Now we add 1/3 cup of chili sauce, pouring it evenly over the meat. Cover and cook over a low heat 10 to 15 minutes. To make steak and bean bundles for 6, arrange the blue lakes on cube steaks, which have been salted and peppered and spread with dressing. The dressing is made with 2 cups seasoned stuffing croutons slightly crushed, mixed with 2 tablespoons melted butter or margarine, 1/3 cup slivered dill pickle, 1 egg, and enough of the bean liquid to moisten. Roll into bundles and secure with skewers. Brown the bundles on all sides in 2 tablespoons of butter or margarine. Then pour over the meat a cup of dairy sour cream blended with 1/3 cup catsup and 1/4 teaspoon salt. A 1-pound can of the Blue Lake vertical pack green beans and 6 cube steaks makes 6 generous servings. The steak and bean bundles are baked uncovered in a 350-degree oven for 20 minutes. Chinese Blue Lakes add a flavor of glamour and is an easy-to-prepare dish. A cup of diagonally cut celery and a 1/2 cup each of thinly sliced onions and carrots, cooked together in a 1/4 cup of salad oil, which has been heated in a large skillet or wok. Stir constantly, then add 2 teaspoons soy sauce, blended with 1 tablespoon cornstarch and a 1/2 teaspoon monosodium glutamate. Continue stirring until mixture thickens. Add 1/2 cup thinly sliced radishes, a 1-pound can drained Blue Lake green beans, heat through, and salt to taste. For variation, a pound of cooked shrimp, cooked slivers of pork, chicken, or beef may be added. Serve at once for a deliciously different treat. Blue Lakes are delicious served cold, right out of the can. They are perfect in a chef salad, or in a green bean and vegetable salad, garnished with tomatoes and anchovies and topped with choice of dressing. Blue Lakes add zest to a relish dish when mixed with corn and topped with onion rings. And for a dramatic, refreshing touch to any table, try a molded salad by simply mixing the cut-style pack with canned tomato aspic. Blue Lakes in an oil and vinegar dressing seasoned with dillweed are wonderful with all kinds of sandwiches. Served hot or cold, there are hundreds of ways to enjoy Mr. Blue Lake, the pampered green beans. And know you're getting the finest flavor at the lowest cost.